The next morning, Alina slipped quietly out of the house and wandered toward the old tree. She traced her fingers over the rough bark, trying to puzzle out what had happened the night before. But the branches gave her no answers. No lights, no whispers, no signs of magic. With a little sigh, she walked deeper into the woods. The morning air was cool, and birdsong followed her as she picked berries straight from the bushes, eating them fresh and sweet. It was her favorite thing to do, and for a moment it made her forget the sadness that still weighed on her heart. Then, suddenly, her foot caught on a root, and she tumbled forward into a thick bush. As she pushed herself up, brushing leaves from her hair, her eyes grew wide with astonishment. There, hidden just beyond the bushes, was a tiny, bustling village. Little houses carved into mushrooms and tree stumps glowed with light. Petals served as rooftops. Streams of crystal water wound between cottages, and the air shimmered with movement. Dozens of fairies darted to and fro, their wings scattering color like rainbows in the sun. Alina gasped and whispered, "Am I dreaming?" The fairies froze. Then, in a flurry of panic, they scattered. Wings buzzed in every direction as they fled their homes, frightened by the sight of a human child. Alina's chest tightened. Tears welled up in her eyes as she held out her hands helplessly. "I didn't mean to scare you all," she whispered, her voice breaking. "I'm sorry. Please don't go." Her tears spilled over, her small body trembling. The fairies hovered uncertainly, unsure whether to trust her. But then one stepped forward. She was strikingly graceful, with silver hair that shimmered in the light and wings tinted with the faintest pink. Her name was Britney, one of the bravest and most admired among the fairies. "Wait," Britney called to the others. "Look at her. She means no harm." The fairies slowed, their frightened fluttering easing. They circled back cautiously, curiosity shining in their glowing eyes. Britney drifted closer to Alina, her delicate face kind. "Don't cry, little one," she said softly. "We can be friends." Alina sniffled and gave a hopeful nod, her tears turning into a small, trembling smile. But as Britney looked at the girl, her heart brimmed with joy as the fairies no longer fled but circled her with wonder. Just then, a hush fell across the village as a radiant figure stepped forward. The Queen of the Fairies. She wore a crown woven of starlight and petals, and her wings shimmered with every color of dawn. Her voice, when she spoke, was gentle yet commanding. "Child of trust," the Queen said, her eyes warm. "You are welcome among us." She lifted her hand, and in her palm rested a delicate golden ring, etched with patterns of vines and glowing faintly as though alive. She offered it to Alina. "Put it on," the Queen whispered. Alina slid the ring onto her finger, and in an instant her world changed. A rush of light surrounded her, and she shrank smaller and smaller until she stood no taller than the fairies themselves. She gasped, staring at her tiny hands, her wide eyes shining with amazement. All around her, the fairies clapped their tiny hands and danced, their wings beating in joy as they welcomed her into their world. The Queen stepped closer and knelt before her. "Your mother was once a friend to us. She was trustworthy and kind, and because of her, we now place our trust in you. This ring once belonged to her, and now it belongs to you." Alina's breath caught in her throat. The thought of her mother's gentle smile filled her with warmth and tears all at once. She touched the ring carefully, as though it were the most precious thing in the world. But before she could ask a single question, a distant voice broke through the woods. It was her grandmother calling. "Alina, where are you, child?" The Queen's expression grew serious. "You must keep this secret," she warned in a low, firm voice. "If the world beyond discovers us, danger will come. Our kind could be destroyed." Alina nodded quickly, pressing her hand against the ring as though to shield it. She understood. This was no ordinary secret. This was her mother's gift, and now her own. And so, with a heart racing from wonder and a promise heavy in her chest, Alina stepped back toward the human world, carrying magic no one else could ever know. Alina promised the Queen with a solemn nod that she would never tell anyone about the fairies. Carefully, she slipped the ring from her finger and tucked it safely away before running back toward her grandmother's house, her heart still beating fast from the magic she had witnessed. But while Alina hurried home, Britney's thoughts were filled with a secret plan. She longed to see the man she had glimpsed beneath the tree, the man whose eyes had caught her heart. If she could take a form like his, then perhaps she could meet him face to face. That very night, when the village slept under the glow of firefly lamps, Britney crept silently into the queen's chambers. She knew of a potion locked away in crystal vials, a potion said to grant a fairy the shape of a human. With careful hands and a heart pounding in her chest, Britney stole a vial of the shimmering liquid. As the moon rose high and the woods grew quiet, Britney lifted the potion to her lips. "For him?" she whispered, and drank. The magic struck her at once. Her body glowed with fierce light as she began to grow taller, larger, her wings folding painfully before disappearing altogether. She stumbled, gasping as her delicate frame reshaped itself into that of a woman. At last, with a final shudder, she collapsed to the ground, now fully human. Her chest rose and fell with shallow breaths, but she could not move. The transformation had left her drained, and she lay unconscious on the grass. Don't miss out the next chapter coming up. To watch all our stories, please subscribe and also don't forget to like them.